This is the Roulette Master, and one of my subscribers, Jerry, says he has created an unbelievable roulette system. He calls this Even Steven Roulette, and let's get started, and I'll share with you how he's winning money consistently in the casino with this strategy. And here we go. We're going to start with a $10 bet on even, and then we're going to have $1 on every one of the streets that has two even numbers. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think this is really smart. I like the way this is set up. Let's go ahead and spin. This is a $16 total bet, and we're off and running. I'll share with you the rules and everything else that you need to know to make this work. And look at that. We hit the street and even, and there's a good chance every time you hit even, you'll hit a street because there's two even numbers in every one of the streets that we've selected. We're up $16 already. We're just going to rebet and spin at $16 total spin here. And here we go. That's an 18 red. Another one, 16 bucks. We hit both again. Again, if you hit even, you have a great chance of hitting those. We're currently up $32 after just 2 spins. And here we go. That's a 3 red. And we lost that one. So when we lose with this one, we're going to go ahead and double from 16 to 32 and spin. And then I'll share with you what to do if you get a win, but you don't hit one of the streets. That's a 17 black right there. And that's an $8 loss because we did not hit an even number. So if we lose and it's a partial loss like that, we just go ahead and rebet and spin. So we're going to keep it the same here. Okay, that's an 8 black. Okay, that's an $8 win there. We're just going to rebet and spin. We're not going to reset until we hit even in one of those streets at the same time. So that's a 4 black. And we did it. That's a $32 win. So we're up 48 bucks. We're going to go back to where we started again, which again is 10 on even. And then we have 6 of these dollar streets. So that's 16 bucks. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go with the Even Steven roulette system. And that is a 20 black. Okay, that's a $4 win. We'll take it. We're up $52 now. And let's just rebet and spin. All right, here we go. And let's see what we get. That is a 12 red. Fantastic. We hit the street and even. $16 win, up $68. So we'll rebet and spin again. And make sure you watch the whole thing. There's a lot more to this. There's lots of different amounts that you can win. And you need to know what to do in each circumstance. So that's a $16 loss. And we're going to go ahead and double that up and spin. And again, we're not going to reset until we hit an even number and a street with one of the even numbers in it. So that is an $8 win there. So when we get those kind of wins, we just keep the bet the same and spin again. We do not reset on unless we hit the street and even at the same time. That's a 21 red. And that's a loss. So we're going to go ahead and double up from 32 to 64 and spin. And here we go. All right. That is a 25 red. And we lost. We're going to double up again. Okay, this is why we need a bankroll. This is a $2,000 bankroll system. And let's get back on track right here. That's a 24 black. And we hit both of them at the same time. That's a $128 win. We're up $92. So we drop back to where we started at 16. So let's go all the way back to 16 with the Even Steven roulette system. And here we go. And it is really cool that there's two even numbers in each one of these streets. So you have a great chance of hitting one when you do hit an even number. Right there we missed it, but that's okay. We picked up 4 bucks. We're up $96 total. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. All right. That is a 6 black. And we hit both. Fantastic. So we're up $112. We're still at base level, so we don't have to change the bet. We just rebet and spin. And that's a 29 black. Okay, that's a $4 loss. We do not increase the bet when we hit those partial losses like that. So let's go ahead and just spin again. Okay, that's a 30 red. And we hit both. Now we're up $124. We are still at base level, so we don't have to adjust the bet. Let's just see what we get here. And here we go. That's a 2 black. Okay, that's a $4 win. We'll take it up 128. And spin again here. All right. I really like this one so far. I can't wait to see how this does for the full 15 minutes. and that's an 8 black, and that's a $4 win. We'll take it. We're up 132. And spin again here. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's a 16 red. We hit both. $16 win, up 148. And we're just cruising right along with even Steven Roulette. And this looks like it's going to be fantastic. But we're going to test it longer to see if if we get a bunch of losses and how it deals with that. We're going to double up because that was a total loss there. And let's see what we get here. Okay, that's a 26 black. Okay, that is an $8 win there, and we're up $140. So that was not a win on one of those numbers that's covered with a street. So we just rebet and spin at $32, and that's why we're able to take losses on those partial losses, is because we pick up wins and we don't reset on the small wins. And let's go ahead and reset. Now we're at $64 total bet, and here we go. Okay, that's a 32 red. Okay, $16 win, but that's not a street, so we'll go ahead and just rebet and spin. Again, those little wins like that will make up for those partial losses, and that's a 6 black there. All right, we finally hit both at the same time, and that was a $64 win. We're up $188. We'll go all the way back to 16 where we started with even Steven Roulette, and here we go. All right, that is a 25 red. Okay, that's a total loss. Let's go ahead and double and spin. And let's see what we get here. That's a 35 black. And that's just an $8 loss, so we don't increase the bet. We just stay at $32, and that'll help us keep our bankroll. And so if we get a long streak of odd numbers, if some of them are partial losses, we won't increase. But that's another total loss, so we're going to go ahead and double up to 64 and spin. And let's see what we get on this one. Another odd number, that's a 27 red. And that's a total loss, so we go ahead and double up. But this is why we have the $2,000 bankroll, just in case we get a lot of odd numbers in a row. And they're not partial losses, they're full losses. That's a 32 red, and that's a $32 win. Unfortunately, we did not hit one of the streets, so we just rebet and spin. And let's hope the next even number we hit is one of the ones in those streets. But that's a 15 black there. So that is a total loss. We're going to go ahead and double up from 128 to 256. You can see temporarily we're down a little bit now. Let's get a win. Let's get an even number in one of those streets. And that is an 18 red. And that is one of them right there. That's a $256 win. Now we're up $228. So let's go ahead and go back to our original $16 bet. So let's go ahead and do that. We're almost back down there, and almost there, and spend $10 on even, $1 on 6 streets that all have 2 even numbers in them, and that's a 5 red. Okay, $4 loss. We do not increase the bet on partial losses, so we just rebet again at $16, and again, those partial wins will make up for those, and that's a 26 black. Okay, a $4 win, we'll take that. We're up $228. We're going to stay right here at $16, and let's see what we get. That's an 8 black on that one, and that's a $4 win. We'll take it. We're up $232, still at base level here, and let's see what we get. That's a 2 black. Okay, another $4 win, up $236, and let's spin. So we don't reset until we hit one of the streets. And that's an 11 black. That's a partial loss, so we don't increase. We stay at 16. We're not going to increase on those partial losses. And that's a 29 black. Okay, that's another partial loss, so we don't increase. We just stay at 16. And again, that helps us protect our bankroll of $2,000 on this. And that's a 29 black. Another partial loss. These aren't hurting us much, though. We're still up $224, and we're going to stay at base level unless we have a total loss. So here we go. That's a 29 black, and that is 3 29s in a row. How about that? That's crazy, but we're going to stay at 16. We're not going to increase the bet, and here we go. Okay, that's a 0, and That is not good. So we're going to go ahead, and that's a total loss. So we're going to double up. And you can see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losing numbers in a row. But we still are up $204. So let's go ahead and spin. And let's see what we get here with the even Steven roulette system. And that's a 30 red. Okay, we hit both. That's a $32 win. We're up $236. So that triggers us to go back to where we started at 16. And here we go. Don't hit the 0. That's a 14 red. And we'll take a $4 win. We're up $240. And let's spin again. So real important that you follow the rules on this one to protect your bankroll. Otherwise, if you got a lot of odd numbers in a row, you might lose your bankroll. So real important there. And we're going to double up because that's a total loss. And let's go ahead and spin. So those partial losses, not increasing the bet, definitely help your chances of maintaining your bankroll. And let's go ahead and double again from 32 to 64. And let's get back on track right here. Here we go. That's a 36 red. And that's a nice $64 win. We hit the street and even. We're up $256. We're going to drop back to $16 and spend. Here we go. All right, let's see what we get. That's a 25 red. Okay, that's a $16 loss. We'll go ahead and double up after that total loss. And now we have a $32 total bet. And that's a 15 black. Total loss, so we double up, 32 to 64. Again, this is why we have the bankroll that we have on this one. And let's get a win and stay away from that 0 there. That's a 2 black, and that's just a partial win of $16. We're up $224, and we're just going to rebet and spin. We're not going to reset till we hit one of the streets. So that's a 21 red there, and that's a total loss. So we're going to double up. We're going to go 64 to 128, and let's get an even number. That'll give us a good chance of hitting one of the streets. And we just missed it. That's an 11 black. At least that's a partial loss, so we don't increase the bet. We're going to stay at 128 total bet because that was a partial loss. Don't hit the 0 there, and that's a 14 red. Okay, it's a $32 win, but it doesn't do a lot for us. We're up 160 still, though, so that's good. And we just need a win on one of these street bets. And we didn't get it. That's an 11 black. But fortunately, that's a partial loss, so we don't increase the bet. We're going to stay at 128. And now you're probably seeing how that protects your bankroll. If those were all total losses and we increase the bet each time, we'd be in real trouble. We'll take a $32 win there. We're up 160, and we still have not hit a street. So we're going to remain patient and hope that we get one soon. That's a 19 red. And that's a total loss, so it's time to increase again. We're going to go to 256. And I have a feeling we'll get it right here. Let's see if we can get an even number here. And there's a good chance if we do, it'll be in one of those streets. But unfortunately, that is a total loss. So let's see what we have left in the bankroll. We have about $1,800 left, so we can double again. We're going to go to 512. And this is the most losses that we've had without a win. Let's see if we can get things turned around, and that's a 34 red. That's a $512 win. Now we're up $288, and we're going to go back to where we started, back at $16. So let's just put those bets back out again. Remember, we're picking all the streets that have 2 even numbers, just like that, and then $1 on each, and then $10 on even. Let's go ahead and spin. We're back to our $16 bet, and that is a 7 red. Okay, that's a loss, total loss, so we double up from 16 to 32. And again, there's a fantastic chance you'll hit one of those streets if you hit an even number, because 2 out of every 3 numbers are even in those streets, and that's an $8 loss. We will not increase the bet for that one because that was a partial loss. And here we go. That's a 21 red, and that's a full loss, so let's go ahead and double up from 32 to 64 and spin. And here we go. Come on even. Oh, we hit 21 red. So that is a full loss. So we're going to have to double up again, 64 to 128. And let's get an even number here. Okay, that's a 14 red. But unfortunately, that's it is a $32 win. We're up $200, but we did not hit a street. So We got to hang in here and hit a street on one of these next ones here. But that's a 25 red, and that's a full loss. We're going to have to double up again. We're going to have to go to 256 and spin. And come on, let's get an even number here. That's an 18 red right there. And that is on a street. That's a $256 win. Now we're up $328. So then you just go back to 10 on even and $1 on all the streets with 2 even numbers. And oh, I'm sorry, those are $10 bets. Let me put dollars back out again. Just like that. And then just follow those rules. And remember, cash out whenever you get up a good amount. We're up $328, but you could have cashed out easily when you're up 100 or 200. Remember to cash out and declare victory over the casino when you have a chance. We play longer so that we can test and see when good and bad things happen. And let me know what you guys think of the Even Steven roulette system. We test a new system every single day in the search for the best roulette system possible. If you're enjoying that journey with me, please subscribe to the channel and let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. And we have another system coming up here that's trending on YouTube. If you want to stick around, it's going to be starting right now. Here we go. Thanks for sticking around. This system that's really trending on YouTube right now is called 8th Street Holy Grail. And let's just jump right in and get started. This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to share with you the incredible new 8th Street Holy Grail system. One of my subscribers, Basir, says this is way better than the original, and it will take the original down in a head-to-head matchup. So that's what we're going to do today. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. So we're going to start with the original first, and we're going to put $10 on first and second 12, and start the timer, and here we go. And let's see what we get here. That's a 4 black. Okay, that's a $10 win, and now we're just going to rebet and spin. With this system, we're going to increase by 1 unit when we lose, and we're not going to reset until a certain amount of profit is made. And there's a loss, so it's real easy. All you have to do is just increase by 1 unit each time that you lose, and again, keep it the same until we reach a profit level, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. That's a 23 red, and that's a win. So when you win, if you're not at that profit goal, you just rebet and spin again. We're at 20 each, 40 total with the original Holy Grail, which I know a lot of people really love. And that's a 2 black. So I can't wait to see if Basir's new 8th Street Holy Grail is that much better. He says it is, and I can't wait to see. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin again. And here we go. Okay, that's 15 black. All right, that's a win, so we stay right there. We're up 50, and let's spin again. We're at 20 each, 40 total still. And here we go. That's a 21 red, and that's a win. So we're up 70. Let's just rebet and spin. I'll let you know when we get to the profit goal here, the first one. And let's see what we get here. That's a 16 red. That's another win. And already with the original Holy Grail, we're up $90. All right, let's go ahead and spin again here. Here we go. That's another win, 22 black. Great start for the original Holy Grail. And we're up $110, getting closer to that profit goal. And when we get there, we're going to reset back to $10. But that's a loss right there on 26 black, so we increase by 1 unit. You can see we're up 70 right now. Let's increase that. Now we're at 30 each, 60 total. And Basir says that his new system, there's a lot of reasons why it's better, but he said the reset amount and everything just all comes together for the perfect roulette system. So I can't wait to see how this turns out. We're up 100. We're not to that reset point yet, so we're going to stay at 30 each, 60 total. And here we go. That's a 34 red. And that's a loss. So we're going to increase again. Now we're at 40 each, 80 total with the original Holy Grail, and this is a fantastic roulette system as well. And I know a lot of you really like it. That's a 23 red, and that's a $40 win. We're up $80. We'll just rebet and spin. And I think a reason a lot of people like the Holy Grail is because the progression goes up slowly instead of doubling or tripling. And a lot of people like that. So we're up 120. Let's rebet and spin. We're at 40 each, 80 total now. 3 minutes in out of 15 right now. And that's a 13 black. That's another win. Okay. Okay, so we just reached our profit goal of $150. Now we reset back to 10. Our next profit goal is going to be $300, an additional $150. So let's go ahead and spin at 10 each, 20 total, and here we go. That's a win with a 21 red. All right, we're up 170. Let's spin again here. Only increasing after losses, keeping the same after wins until we reach 300 profit. Now an additional 150. So there's a loss. We'll check our balance. We're up 150 currently. We're going to increase to 20 each, 40 total here. And here we go. That's a win with the 6 black. All right. Okay, so we're up 170. We'll just rebet and spin again, trying to get to 300. 4 minutes in now out of 15 minutes with the original Holy Grail, and that's a loss, 25 red. Okay, we're up 130, and let's increase. We're at 30 each, 60 total now after we increased. Just going up 1 unit with each loss, and that's a win with the 1 red there. So that's awesome. We're up 160. Let's rebet and spin again at 30 each, 60 total. That's another win, 17 black. All right. Okay, we're up 190 now. All right, let's spin again here. That's a 9 red. That's a win. So we're up 220. We're getting a little closer to our next profit goal of 300. Only $80 away, and we're 5 minutes in out of 15. That's a loss, though, 36 red. So we increase by 1 unit, just like we always do when we have a loss. Now we're at 40 each, 80 total, and then we'll check our balance after this one. That's a win, 14 red. So we'll stay right where we're at. We're up $200. So let's rebet and spin. All right, here we go. Okay, it's a 25 red. That's a loss, so we'll increase just like we do with every loss, but just 1 unit at a time. And again, I think that's why a lot of people like this. The progression is slow. You're not doubling or tripling. There's another loss, 25 red. And when you get back-to-back losses like this, it makes a big difference if you're only going up 1 unit instead of doubling or tripling. And with the $2,000 bankroll, which we have for this one, we can be patient until we start getting some wins consecutively. And that's a 7 red. That's a $60 win. We're currently up 80. Let's stay right here at 60 each, 120 total, and see what we get next. That's a 10 black. Okay, that's a win. So now we're up 140. We'll stay right here at 60 each and spin again. Here we go. That's a loss, 35 black. Okay, so we're going to increase by 1 unit. That drops us back to $20 profit temporarily, but that's okay because when you go up in the progression, even if it's 1 unit at a time, once you get on a streak, you can come right back. And we're just having some consecutive losses, but again, that's why it's so important to go up by 1 unit instead of doubling or tripling, because it's much safer. And we've had 3 losses in a row now, so you can only imagine if we were doubling or tripling what would happen there. So we're just at 90 each now, 180 total, and we can be patient for a run because we have the right amount of bankroll at $2,000. And there's a win at 90, so we'll stay right there. So temporarily we're negative, but we still have plenty of time left, and we can be patient and wait for a good run. And that's not a good thing right there, though. That's a 0. So we're going to increase again. Now we're at 100 each, 200 total. And temporarily we're minus 370, but we can come right back if we just get on a nice little run. But right now we haven't done that. That's another loss. Let's increase again. Okay, we're at 110 each, 220 total now. Almost 8 minutes in out of 15. And finally we got a win with the 6 black after looks like 2 consecutive losses, but 4 out of 5 losses, so that's not very good. And let's go ahead and rebet and spin again. Actually, the more I look at it, we've had 5 losses. That's correct. But 5 losses will take you down, but you have to have bankroll and patience to come back, and that's what I'm hoping we have here coming up, and that's a 110 win. We're just going to rebet and spin. And you can see if we get on a good run where we don't hit third 12 or 0 for 4 or 5 spins, we can get it right back. So let's do that. And we're minus 240 currently. We're making $110 per win right now, so let's see if we can get on a run. That's another win, 1 red. So things are turning around for us. We're minus 130 though still. We need to get a couple more wins here. And here we go. Remember, we're trying to get to 300 profit. But I would recommend that if you get in a situation where you have a ton of losses and you get way down, then you might not have to get all the way back to your profit goal. You could probably go back to the original profit goal of 150. But let's see if we can do that at least. That's an 8 black. Okay, that's a 110 win, and at least we're back in profit now. That's great. So let's stay right here and spin, and then we'll see where we end up. Okay, that's a win, 5 red. So let's see how much profit we have. Okay, we're up 200. You know what? I'm going to say right now we reset at 200, even though we're trying to get to 300. You don't want to be greedy when you've had a really bad run like that. We're up $200. We're only $100 away. So, it's smart to just reset at that point. And anytime you have a really bad run, don't think you have to get all the way back to where you were before. You can build it back up. And you can see that was a really good choice for us, because we would have lost that one and then we would have been down again. And we're still up a lot because we made a good smart choice there. And that's a 20 black. Okay, so we're up 200. Let's spin again and see if we can get some wins here. We're still trying to get to 300 profit, and that's a $20 win. We're up 220, but it's smarter to do it this way and get a few, wins, smaller wins to get us to that 300 than to try to get it all in one spin. Okay, we're up 240. Let's rebet and spin again. We're 10.5 minutes in out of 15. Here we go, and that's a loss, 35 black. So we're going to go up another unit. Oops, let me fix that. Okay, so we're going to 30 each, 60 total. We're still up 200, so doing really well. And here we go. That's a 29 black, and that's a loss. So we go up a unit, just like we do with any loss. And now we're at 40 each, 80 total. We're 11 minutes in out of 15. That's a 24 black. Okay, and that's a win. So we're up 180 now. We'll stay at 40 each, 80 total, and see if we can get back up to that $300 level. That's a 27 red, though that's a loss. So it's a good thing we're only going up 1 unit at a time when we have losses, because we've had a lot of them today, but we're still up and doing great. And here we go. We're 11 minutes, 22 seconds in. And that's a 27 red. Okay, that's a loss. So let's go ahead and increase. We're at 60 each, 120 total. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. He's having a little fit of some kind. And that's a 31 black. That's another loss. So let's go ahead and increase again. Now we're at 70 each, 140 total. And for those of you that don't know, I have a King Charles Cavalier. Really good dog, but he's having a little fit right now, isn't he? And we're minus 50. We're going to stay right here at 70 each, 140 total, and spin. Okay, that's a 34 red. That's another loss. So we still have 3 minutes though left. Let's increase again. We're at 80 each, 160 total, and let's spin. Let's see what we get here. That's a 20 black. Okay, that's a win, and let's go ahead and rebet and spin again at 80 each, 160 total. And that's a 15 black. Okay, that's an $80 win. We're minus 30. We'll stay right there at 80 each, 160 total. Let's be patient, and let's try to get a good win. That's a 3 red. That's a good one. So we're back in profit, I believe. Yes, we're up 50. Let's rebet and spin again at 80 each. We have 2 minutes left with the original Holy Grail, and then the the new one is coming up, and I think you're going to absolutely love it. That's a loss there, so we're going to increase again to 90 each, 180 total, and we need to finish with some wins, but we got a couple minutes left here. Let's see if we can get on a roll. That's an 18 red. Okay, we're minus 20, but it doesn't take long if you get on a streak. So let's get on that streak, and let's stay away from high numbers and zeros. And that's an 8 black. So we're up 70. Let's rebet and spin again at 90 each, 180 total. Minute and a half left with the original Holy Grail, but that's a 0. That's not good for anybody, but that's okay. We're going to increase again. We're at 100 each, 200 total now. Okay, that's a 34 red. That's another loss, so that put us down again. Now we're minus 310, and we're going to have to increase again. But even if we don't get back in profit with this, this is a great system. You just have to be patient and have your bankroll, because eventually you're going to go on a nice run. It just happens to be that we're having a downturn right here before our 15 minutes is up. We're at 120 each, 240 total, 45 seconds left, and that's another loss, 28 black. Just remember, we haven't lost our bankroll. We can still come back from this, but you know, it's going to take patience and bankroll, as it always does when you have a really bad run. And there's a win with 18 red. Okay, we're minus 640. We'll rebet and spin at 130 each. And here we go. But I don't think we're going to have enough time for this one to come back all the way. And we're going to find out here shortly. We're at minus 510. Let's rebet and spin again here. And that's another loss, 27 red, and time just expired. So we ended up minus $770 with the Holy Grail. Now, it could definitely have come back like it has many, many times, but at the 15-minute mark, we had a bad run there, and the Holy Grail ended up down $770 after 15 minutes. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And now it is time for Basir's new system that he says is so much better than the original Holy Grail. I'm going to show you why. Let's just jump right into it and get started, and let's see if we can make some money. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for Basir's new 8th Street Holy Grail system. He said it's incredibly better than the original, and let's go ahead and place the bets. And here we go. So we're going to have some $5 streets here, and he picks these based on where the numbers are in the roulette wheel. So you can see we have 5 right there, and now we're going to have 3 from the 25 to 33, and that's a $40 total bet, which is a little different than the original Holy Grail. Let's go ahead and spin. I'm going to show you the differences. The reset point's going to be different, and some other things too. So that's a 31 black to start, and we get $20 with each win. So you can see we're up 20. We're just going to rebet and spin until we have a loss, and then I'll show you what to do next. That's a 36 red there, and that's a loss. So we're going to increase those by 1 unit and spin. And let's see what we get here, and then I'll show you what else we need to look at. And that's a 10 black. Okay, so with this system, if we're not in $50 profit instead of $150 like the original, if we're not in $50 profit, we stay the same. So we're going to stay at $80 here, and let's see what we get. That's a 34 red, and that's a loss. So we're going to increase everything by a unit again. We're currently minus 60. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to add $5, which is what we started with, to each one of these streets. Okay, now we're at 120 total, and the reset point is much easier to achieve with this one, as you're going to see as we go through here. That's a 26 black, and that's a $60 win. We're back to even. We're just going to rebet and spin until we get to $50 profit, which again is very easy to achieve with the changes that Basir has made to the Holy Grail, and I think we just did it. So we just already achieved our first goal of 50. Now we're trying to get to $100 profit. So we reset back to the original $40, and the reason it's $40 is because we have 8 streets at $5 each. So let's go ahead and spin again here. And again, Basir picks these streets because of where they're at on the roulette wheel. So he really likes these numbers, and there's another win. So we are already up $80, and let's spin again. We'll see how this does over the full 15 minutes, but he says that this system is so good that you won't need any other systems after this one. So I don't know. We'll see. We're up 100 now. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 35 black, and that's a loss. And let's see where we're at. We're up 60. And let's go ahead and increase those by 1 unit. So we'll go from 40 to 80 basically. Here we go. That's a 1 red. I believe that's a win. Okay, so now we reached our next profit goal of 100. Now we make sure we're at $10. I'm sorry, not at $10 like the original. We're back at the original 40. So let's do that. And again, that's because we have 8 $5 streets. So now we're trying to reach 150 profit. And you can see these profit goals are much easier to attain than the original Holy Grail. And the bet's a little bit bigger. So we're up 120 now, just trying to get to 150. And let's see if we can reach that next goal. And that's a 15 black. That's another win. So we're up 140. Let's spin again. Another win. We'll have another goal achieved, and that's awesome. Really easy to achieve these goals. I like that. That's a 24 black, but we lost. So we're going to increase by 1 unit, and again, we're trying to get to 150 profit. We're still at 100 now after that loss. That's a 22 black. And that's another loss. So we're going to go up by 1 unit again. So we'll add 5 to each of these. The first time that I increased by 1 unit, I just hit the double button because it's the same thing. But you can only do that 1 time, and then you need to add them in one at a time, which doesn't take long at all. That's a 19 red. That's another loss. Okay, so we're minus 100 after those back-to-back losses, but that's okay. Basir says you'll come right back. Let's see if it happens. So we're adding 5 to all these again. Okay, we're at 160 total bet now, 4.5 minutes in out of 15. That's another loss though, 36 red. So let's increase again, and we have plenty of time to come back. And Basir says we will come back. Just hang in there with bankroll and patience, and you will come back and make a lot of money like he's doing. So let's see if that happens. That's a 10 black. I think we got a win there finally. That was a little bit of a win drought, but let's go ahead and rebet and spin. Again, we're trying to get to 150 profit, so we're going to stay right here until that happens. And that's a 17 black. That's another loss, though. So we're minus 360, but this is a $2,000 bankroll. Remember, you can also do this with a $400 bankroll and dollar units. But let's add those 5s in, and because I want to give everybody options depending on how much money you have to play with, and that's important. So now we're at 240 total, 5.5 minutes in out of 15, and here we go. That's an 8 black. Let's go on a run. There's a nice 120 win. Let's rebet and spin again, and let's get some wins here. Come on. 7 red. I think that's another win. Fantastic. We're minus 120, another one of those, and we'll be out of the hole, and then we can start making some profit again. That's a 15 black. I think we got that one right on the last one. That's great. So now let's see if we can get ahead again and make some money. Here we go. 6 minutes in now out of 15. That's a 10 black, and that's a win. We're up 120 now, trying to get to 150 profit. We're almost there. We just need one more. That's a 31 black, and that's a win. So we did reach our 150 profit goal and our 200 profit goal and almost our 250 profit goal. So our next goal is, let's go back to the original amount. We're going back to our original 40, which is 8 streets. Okay, and remember, we're up 240. all we have to do now is get to 250 to reset. So we're at the base level anyway, so let's see if we get that win real quick here. That's a 32 red. Okay, and we did. So that's another profit goal made. Now we're trying to get to 300. So Basir says these profit goals are very easy to attain, and I'm definitely seeing that. Our next one is $300 profit, and we're 7 minutes, 10 seconds in out of 15. That's an 8 black. And we're up 280, another win, and we've already achieved another profit goal. So by increasing the bet a little bit and by having a smaller profit goal, we're achieving these goals much easier. And you can see we just did it again. We're up 300. So now our next profit goal is 350. And let's go ahead and spin, and let's get to 350. Here we go. That's a 0. That's a loss. So we're going to increase by 1 unit. And again, on the first one, you can just hit the double. But then after that, you need to add them in individually. And here we go. That's a 24 black. And I believe that's another loss. It is. So let's go ahead, and now we have to add in the 5s, but that's no big deal. Let's do that. All right, here we go. Okay, we added 5 to each. Now we're at 120 total. 8 minutes and 10 seconds in out of 15 with the 8th Street Holy Grail system by Basir. And there's another loss. So we are going to increase again. And just so you guys know, Basir said that he does not play on American Roulette, but since the original Holy Grail was sent in on American, I did them both on American today, but just realized that we wouldn't have lost on any double zeros if we were playing the way he's playing. But I still think it'll do really well. Let's go ahead and see what we get here. That's an 18 red. That's a loss, though. Let's increase again. All right, here we go. Okay, now we're at 25 on all those, $200 total bet. Still plenty of time to come back. Basir says just be patient and use your bankroll to your advantage. And that's a $100 win. Let's rebet and spend, and let's get back. Let's get to that 350 profit goal. That's a 21 red, and I think that's another loss, and it is. So we're minus 200 now. We'll increase again. But again, you can come back very easily with this system. So let's do it. This is a 240 total bet. That's a 28 black. I think that's a win. There we go. Finally, we got a win. Let's rebet and spin. Let's see if we can get some consecutive wins here. That would be nice. That's a 30 red. I think that's another win. And it is. We're up 40 now. Let's spin again. Here we go. That's a 33 black. I think we just got it on that one. Yep. Up 160 now. So you can see how quickly you can come back from being down a lot with this modification of the original Holy Grail. This is the 8th Street Holy Grail by Basir. And there's another one that, just so you guys know, Basir would not have lost because he doesn't play with double zero. But again, the original Holy Grail was American, so I did them both American today. And I know a lot of you use 0 and double zero. So let's go ahead and add those back in again. Let me fix this. But when you test it, you can test it however you're going to play it. And make sure you let everyone know in the comments. We're at 280 total bet now. 10 minutes and 50 seconds in. That's a win on a 5 red. Okay, we're up 60. Let's rebet and spin. Let's get a few consecutive wins here. That's a 12 red. That's another win. We'll take it. We're up 200. All right, let's spin again. If we get a win here, that's close enough to 350, and let's reset. But that's a 23 red, and that is a loss. So we need to increase again. That puts us minus 80. But again, very easy to come back with this system, and the goals are very achievable and easy to achieve with just a few wins, which is nice. And we're 11.5 minutes in out of 15. That's a win with a 3 red. That's what we needed to get us back in profit. And now we're up 80. Let's rebet and spin here. Here we go. Oh my goodness, another one that Basir would not have lost, just so you guys know. And of course, we hit the 00 a bunch of times. But you know what? A lot of you play with 00, so hopefully that gives you guys some insight into you know, what it'd be like playing with the American wheel like we're doing. That's a 24 black, and that is another loss. That is rough. Okay, we're minus 600. Let's increase again. But again, we can come back from this even though we're down a lot. We have plenty of time left. We're 12 minutes in out of 15. Okay, that's a 9 red. That's a win. Okay, let's rebet and spin. As Basir says, he's making a lot of money doing this one, playing online and on a European table, and that's a 25 red. That's another win. You can see we were down a ton, but another win, we'll be back in profit again. And that's a 34 red, though. That's a loss. So we need to increase again. But it's important to have that $2,000 bankroll, or you can use 400 and use dollar units. That works too. We have 440 total bet now, and we have a couple minutes left. That's a 17 black, though. That's a loss. Okay, so took a little bit of a downturn here. Okay, 480 total. That's a 6 black. Okay, that's a 240 win. Let's rebet and spin. Come on, it's time to get on a roll. That's another win, 6 black. Okay, we're minus 560 though. We need to get some consecutive wins here. Here we go. That's not it. That's a 22 black. That's a loss. So we need to increase again. And let's do that. Okay, we're at 520 total bet now. That's a win, 33 black. Okay, let's get some consecutive wins here. And let's see what we get. That's a 16 red, and that's a loss. Okay, that's not good. Let's increase again. But just so you guys know, if we were playing this on the European table, we would not be down this much. I think we've had probably 4 00s in this session. 5. Oh my goodness. Okay, Basir's gonna not be happy with me after this one. So you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna play a little bit longer. Since he says he doesn't use the 00, and we hit like 5 or 6 of them. Let's play a little bit longer, and let's see how this does when we don't hit 00s. And that's a 17 black. Okay, and we did that. Took our bankroll as well. So that that didn't work out that well there with all those 00s. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and let's play a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and reset, and we'll switch to European, and let's give it a little bit of a shot without the 00. So here we go. Let's give that a shot. Okay, I'm back. Let's play some spins on the European table like Basir plays. Let's go ahead and place the bets. And here we go. Okay, again, that's a $40 bet, and we're going to reset after each $50 win. That's a 12 red. Okay, that's a win. We're up 20. Let's rebet and spin. That's a 14 red. Okay, that's a $20 win. We're up 40.
No more bets.
All right, let's spin again here. That's a 30 red. Okay, so we're up 60. So that resets us back to 40 if we're not already there, but we're still at base level, so there's nothing to reset back to. That's a 25 red. Okay, that's a win. We're up 80, trying to get to 100
No
profit here. That's 11 black. Okay, that's 100 profit, so we reset if we're not already at 40, but we are at 40, so we just stay right here. And this just shows you, obviously, this is a good system, but it can fail just like any other system if you have really bad luck. And we're already going toward our 150 profit goal. And obviously, it does help you to not have a double zero on the wheel. And but some people don't have that option, so that's something that's important. We're going to increase by 1 unit since we lost, trying to get to 150. And you just have to play what's available to you. Obviously, if you play online, you can play European, like Basir's doing. And truthfully, we probably wouldn't have lost our bankroll if with the first time we tried this, and we're not to our next goal yet, so we'll stay right here. Because I think we hit almost it was 4 or 5 double zeros, which is pretty crazy. And but it can happen. And we're up 160 now. That's a new profit goal. We go back to 40. Our next profit goal will be 200. So just wanted to give Basir a good shake here and do it the way that he said to do it with a European table. So we're going to stay right here. I'm sorry, we lost that one. We're going to increase. So now we're going to go to 10 each instead of 5 each, going up 1 unit with each loss, resetting with each $50 of profit. And we're up 160. We'll stay right there until we get to 200. And you can see that this can be a really good roulette system, like Basir said. And because we're already up 200, another profit goal made. We go back to 40. We reset it with each $50. And here we go. That's a 16 red. That's a loss. So we'll increase by 1 unit, trying to get to 250 now. And on the first one, you can hit the double button, even though you're increasing by 1 unit. You're not. It's not a doubling strategy. That's an 18 red. That's another loss. So we increase by 1 unit on each. Okay, now we're at 120. That's a 33 black. And that's a win. We're up 140, trying to get to 250. That's a 10 black. Okay, that's a $60 win. We're up 200.
No more bets.
Let's try to get to 250 profit. Another $50 in profit. That's a 29 black. Okay, another win. We just made another profit goal. Now we're shooting for 300, and we reset back to 40.
No more bets.
So I'm sure this is more like what Basir has been used to, but again, any bad things can happen at any time. You have to be prepared for them, and obviously we would not have done as poorly with the double zero not on the board. But I wanted it to be even with the original Holy Grail, which is a system that originally was played on American tables, and we're already up 300. So obviously you can see this system can work really well for you. And I wanted to play a little bit for Basir with the European table like he's doing. Obviously did a lot better without those 4 or 5 double zeros, which is very unlucky, but can happen. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments about both these systems, and if one's better than the other in your opinion, and what good things or bad things you like about each, or dislike about each, and that would be awesome. Remember to send your systems in to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. I pick a new one every single day of the week at 7 a.m. Central Time. We test them out, and then it's your guys' turn to test them out and let everyone know what you guys think in the comments, and that really helps everyone in the community when they decide if they're going to take a system to the casino. If you guys share your results and what you think about these systems in the comments. So keep helping each other out. I love seeing your systems every day. I think it's fantastic, and keep it up. We'll keep growing this great community. If you are liking the videos, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.